Welcome to Soldierz Recovery Family. Welcome to Soldierz Live Recovery Meeting live for First Church of the Open Bible. My name is TJ Vasquez and I'm in recovery. This is Soldierz Live and we are live here at First Church at 7 p.m. This is Live Recovery Meeting. We believe that God in recovery must come first and that recovery is not a one-size-fits-all.
Stranger danger in the house.
Welcome. Glad you guys are here. Please feel free to type in the chat. Maggie will be open in tonight's meeting. Tonight's topic is on boundaries. We're going to sit here, we're not talking and everything.
Oh my god.
This can be anything you say.
Everybody knows what's up.
Maggie.
Let me see that. I saw that. That is so good. I know, but like, I saw that post. With sage and some weeds in it.
I've got you. All right. I have the shirt.
My wife.
Soldierz Recovery Family. My name is Maggie, and I have 2.5 years of recovery. Welcome to Soldierz Live Recovery Meeting. We are not affiliated with any 12-step program. The difference is we are not a program, we are a recovery family. We believe God and recovery must come first. Recovery can be found in many various ways. We have a few announcements to cover before we get this meeting started. No bonfire tomorrow night due to the rain. There will be bowling at Valets at 7 p.m. Soldierz will provide the pizza, but not the bowling. You are responsible for your own bowling. Okay. Soldierz Camp Out, October 3rd through the 5th at Twin Acres, Colo, Iowa. Campfire meetings, baptism day, golf, fishing, fellowship, retreat, and campfire church. Our meeting is shared on Facebook Live for those unable to attend in person. If you do not get an opportunity to share during the meeting, please feel free to jump on the page and share on the live event. Everyone's recovery is valuable to the recovery family. Recovery is not a one-size-fits-all. Please speak into the microphone so the people online can hear. If you choose not to share, please at least share your name and your recovery time so we can get to know you. We here in Soldierz community celebrate every day as a victory. Please keep your shares to a 3-minute maximum so everyone gets a chance to share. As you see, we keep a chair in the middle of the room. For those out there still sick and suffering and family members suffering right along with them, praying one day they find their chair. A moment of silence followed by the Lord's Prayer. Whose Father?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
My name is Maggie, and I'm in recovery. And I haven't opened a meeting in a while and kind of got put on the spot tonight, but it's okay. So tonight's topic tonight is boundaries. Boundaries in recovery can be many different forms, right? It can be boundaries in recovery, boundaries in relationships, new in recovery, etc. I think boundaries cover everything that we go through every day as a recovering addict, correct? Boundaries for me today are way different than what they were in active addiction. I didn't have any self-respect for myself when I was using. I thought sex was love. I thought if I did this, I would find that. And all I was doing was I was chasing my demon the whole entire time for my active addiction. And I set no boundaries. I let people walk all over me. I could just sit here and go on and on, right? But what it looks like today with boundaries in my recovery is totally different. First off, I was looking, one of the God-given boundaries, first off, is creation, right? God set boundaries from the very beginning, separating light and the darkness, okay? So when you break it down to a biblical term, there's always been boundaries. It's just, have we ever set them? Have we ever followed them? Boundaries for me today are saying no and learning it's a healthy word to say. That loving myself is so important. That my recovery comes before anything else in my life. That taking time and giving myself fully to God for almost 3 years, and then God blessing me with an amazing man in my life today, that those boundaries have set ways that I have someone in my life who respects me and respects who I am, and I'm ever grateful for that. So I always try to tell my women in the house, or just anybody who's going through it, that no is probably one of the most healthy words when it comes to boundaries, to build those healthy strengths, right? Because we fall so weak when we're in active addiction that we just allow anything to happen to us, or we put ourselves in situations or places that we wouldn't do if we were sober. So I'm grateful to be here tonight, and I'm glad TJ came up with this topic and let me open the meeting, and with that, I'm going to pass to the Bush baby.
My name is John, a.k.a. the Bush Bye-Bye. I've been sober since March 5, 2024. That's a good one. I didn't set very many boundaries in my active addiction. I gave alcohol to teenagers when I went to Campus Town and stuff like that. And I don't talk to those people because I don't want to use again. That's my boundaries with them and stuff like that. And some of them asked me to be the sponsor. I said no because that's my boundary with them. That is my opinion. But God has given me a good job, and I'm so happy. I like the construction work. And that's it. The past.
My name is Logan Portlow. I have 286 days. Boundaries for me, I guess. I've been trying to create them recently, but when you have zero boundaries and kind of just allow yourself and people in your life to do whatever they want, and then you start having boundaries, it gets a little hard. When you go from 0 to 100, things can get pretty confusing pretty fast. People hold resentments, people don't know how to handle it, they just try to start attacking your weaknesses, making their way around certain things to try and agitate you or get to you. I think it's really easy. It's easier for me sometimes to not talk enough about certain things, or to let things build up, or I think I lack a little bit of self-confidence sometimes in myself. I maybe get a little down because of certain things. I don't know. This is not really a online But yeah, I don't know. It's just something. It's something I'm working on. I'm trying to be better at it. I don't want to have to go from 0 to 100 with certain people. It's confusing. It's hard. I want to have a relationship with my kids and my kids' mothers. But there's just certain things I think that take time that I need to allow to happen so that I can have those healthy relationships instead of just doing what I can to hold on to certain aspects or whatever it may be. I kind of got to just let go. I don't know, I'm trying to choice words here. Yeah, thanks, but that'll pass.
That we have 396 days. I guess boundaries, I'm learning to respect people's boundaries. I don't really have a lot of boundaries. It's like I don't get offended. Like I don't want people to set boundaries with me. But I need to learn to respect other people's boundaries. And I don't know. I'm just grateful to be sober today. Things are a lot easier to deal with than if I was dealing with things and withdrawing. I don't know. I've never been a year sober, and I'm starting to learn. After getting to that year, I'm starting to learn more about myself than I haven't known since probably middle school. But I'm grateful to be here. Praise God.
Hi, my name is Garrett. I have 62 days today. Boundaries for me in addiction, they were very hard to see. I didn't have many at all if I did have them. I would let basically anybody into my life, anyone who just a lot of negative people. As opposed to now in my sobriety, I have those set boundaries to where I'm surrounding myself with Christ-like people and sober people, people I can lean on, people I can trust, people that I can talk to and open up to. Setting those boundaries and not letting all those negative influences in is extremely important for me in my sobriety. As far as like romantic relationship boundaries, I pretty much I'm just trying to work on myself right now, so I've set boundaries on that to where I'm not looking for any romantic relationship at the moment. I'm just looking to make sure I'm 100% before I can give myself to somebody else in that way. So you got my number. But all right, that helps.
I'm Joseph. I have 42 days clean. Boundaries. I'm good at crossing boundaries. I'm good at opening up doors and reaching in and crossing the line. Actually, I'm terrible at it. I do it all the time. I always get told, respect my boundaries. And it's like, I feel disrespectful when I get told that. It's like, but I need to, myself, I need to be able to set boundaries too, because I'll set them, and then I'll take them away, and then I'll set them again, and then I'll take them away, and then it's like a roller coaster. But, I'm still fresh in the recovery, so I kind of have an excuse.
Whatever.
I know, I don't. Boundaries is something I need to man up on and take hold of, because I've lost a lot to crossing boundaries. I mean, I'm facing some time right now because of crossing boundaries, and I hate it. How do I get better at it? You just about respect, right? So boundaries is about respect. I'm big on respect too, but I guess not that way. Yeah, with that I'll pass, guys. Have a good day.
Hi, my name is Cody. Hey, Cody. 1,249 days as of today. Yeah, this topic can definitely be a difficult one. I think there was a time where I used to test boundaries a lot. I push boundaries in myself and test boundaries in others, but I don't think, I've always understood that no means no, regardless of where I was in this journey. But it's kind of gotten to a point now where, so I've always respected the no's in the past, and then I think there was a time where I stopped testing people's boundaries and started to establish my own. And now I'm at this point where I'm sort of working on not crossing things that aren't in line with my values anymore. So it's like this internal struggle that I'm kind of wrestling with. I'm definitely getting better at it, but my boundaries have, I'll say, have grown and evolved over time. I don't want to say easier, but they've taken on a whole other meaning. So yeah, I guess just one day at a time when it comes to the boundary thing. Thanks for listening.
I'm Sean, I got 239 days today. I'd say in my addiction I lost a lot of my morals, which I crossed a lot of boundaries, didn't respect myself, didn't respect others, and like someone said before, I tested boundaries, and just, yeah. In my recovery, I've learned how to respect other people's boundaries. Yeah. I've learned how to actually establish boundaries for myself, to other people too, which has built healthier relationships and everything else. And, yeah, without that. Hey, John.
I am Susan, 1,301 days today. Boundaries, like most of you said, are something I was really good at crossing. I'm learning how to put them out there and learning how to respect others' boundaries. Some of the boundaries that were most recently fixed in my life were with my mother, who passed last week. I'm glad I got the opportunity to fix that. I'm working for my children to get boundaries back with them. So, with that, I'll pass.
My name's Todd. I've been recovering for 91 days. I just did the math. So. Boundaries, I didn't have any. I let people take advantage of me, especially women, because I wanted to make them happy so quickly and other people happy so quickly. And gentlemen down there mentioned 0 to 100. I would be like that on the first date, 0 to 100. I didn't have any boundaries, and I ended up as a disaster the whole time. I lost respect for myself, lost respect from family members and friends. So that is something I'm slowly but surely learning to do now, is set boundaries. And I'm really liking the fact that I'm setting boundaries now. And it's something I hope I can continue to do. With that, I'll pass.
My name's Kalina. I have 77 days today. I'm just going to listen. I'm super shy.
Hi, I'm Casey. I have 70 days today. Boundaries, I don't set them strong enough for myself normally. I don't know, like being sober is so different. I've lived over half my life not sober, so like I'm just learning and like I'm just getting it together. I don't know I don't know how to do it. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I know I'm staying sober, so that's cool. I'm learning how to be human again. So boundaries, I think I'll learn how to set those. It gets better every day.
that I will pass.
My name's Cheyenne. I have 4 years, 9 months, 22 days. Boundaries for me in the past, I definitely crossed them in the work setting. It's how I fed my addiction. When I was in active addiction, though, my personal boundaries were a hard limit for me. I was 0 to 100. I'd get in your face. I'd get confrontational. A few weeks ago, when the women were comforting me on the hallway, they actually asked what I would have done if I'd walked out to that in active addiction. And I was honest with them. I was like, I'd punch you in your fucking face because you're in my bubble. Like, back up. I was very honest with them. Now, when I meet new people, I let them cross boundaries initially, maybe get a little disrespectful or out of hand until I feel comfortable enough to correct them. However, when I set them, my boundaries are my boundaries. You cross them, you disturb my peace, anything like that, I'll just cut you off. You don't need an explanation. I'm an adult. I don't need to give you one. I'm still learning how to set them with certain people in my life, such as my father. A lot of you guys met him last week. And one of the hard boundaries I set with him was, you stay sober or you're not in my life. As of right now, he is actively dying, and that was a very, very hard boundary for me to set, because I don't want him to die alone on the streets or in prison. But he's lived over 40 years in the streets and doing methamphetamine and heroin and cocaine and anything else he can get his hands on. But it was a hard limit for me. It was either you stay sober or, you gotta do this alone. I got tired of him biting the hand that feeds him. Quite literally, most days. But yeah, my boundaries are my boundaries, and once you're aware of them, if you cross them, you just don't have a place in my life at this time. So, that'll pass.
Jason, 88 days. Boundaries. I used to think walls were boundaries, so I built big giant walls around me, which held me in from everybody. Then I realized those weren't boundaries, those were walls to keep me in. So recently, I guess I've been breaking them, breaking all these dumb walls I set up for 20 plus years, and my boundaries now are, like an onion, I guess, the layers. Like I'll let everybody in, but then if people piss me off, they go to that next layer. And if they really piss me off, they let me out, so everybody gets a chance, but it's just how it works. And if you get on that outer layer, you'll never be back in the main. I'll let you in, but I won't let you closer. Relationships, my first marriage was 15 years, my second one was 10, 11. So there were amazing boundaries there. It was all addiction. So there were no boundaries. It was horrible. So relationships, I'm rather be by myself and not destroy anybody else's life. For now, anyway. That'll pass.
Today's 25 days. Mental health and recovery since 8/25. 25. With that, in my life, boundaries, it's really a two-way street. And I've had a setup here in my life, and with that, kind of how I spend my time and what I look at. And I'm reminded of that little song, "Be careful, little lies, what you say," because garbage in, garbage out. And I've got some boundaries on this, but I also need to have the understanding to be respectful of other people's boundaries, and that kind of goes into the codependency. Growing up in church, relying too much on my church friends that they have a life too, and God's the only one that's omnipresent, and His boundary is open for us. And, with that, it's just very important because in order for us to be respected, we have to respect other people's boundaries and learn what they are so that we don't test them or cross them. And a lot of times it's just there's just a lot of us just learning how to read people. And with that, I will pass. Thank you.
I'm Sean, I have 149 days today. Boundaries. I don't think I used to know that word existed for a while in my life. I pushed them on everybody, but yeah, I still felt like I kept everybody at arm's distance, so that they couldn't break mine. So I'm just not very nice about it when that happens, I've recently had to set something with a person that was it was long overdue. I should have set some boundaries with that person. And it was a hard thing to do. They finally get it, and they're respecting them for once, which is amazing. I followed that one for a long time. So, but I'm also learning to, there are some boundaries out there that I need not cross and interfere with too myself. So, that'll pass.
My name is Benji. I'm in recovery.
Benji.
Yeah, I have 237 days. I feel like most of my life I had no boundaries, and because I had no boundaries, I didn't care about anybody else's. I was able to get through other people's boundaries by smooth talking, charm, having a bag in my pocket or a case of beer in the back seat, whatever I could do to get, past some people's boundaries to get what I wanted, that's what I did. And it took all the way up to, surrendering to God. And right there was my first boundary that I ever made. And then, after that, it was my recovery. When I was in treatment, I set a lot of boundaries, and I still continue to set boundaries, and I stick with those, whether it hurts or not, whether it pisses people off or not. I stick with those because, this is my life, and the people I choose to have in it are the ones that respect those boundaries, and I expect them to have boundaries as well. One of the very first boundaries I set, in my recovery was with Jess. When I was in treatment, I told her, because she didn't get in treatment until about a month after I did, so she was still actively using. And we grew up together. We've known each other a long time, 25 years, 30 years. And I told her, it's just like, if you expect us to work, if you want to be with me, then you're going to have to get sober with me. Because otherwise, as much as it hurts, as much as it sucks, we're not going to be able to be together unless you get sober along with me. And here we are. And she stood by my side the whole time, respecting my boundaries, and I respect hers as well. Just like I respect everybody else's boundaries in this room and those around me. But it's just one of the things of, holding yourself accountable, leaning on God, and, just making those boundaries and sticking with them.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica. Today I have 209 days. Boundaries. Yeah. Words that I
find synonymous with boundaries. Wall, rules, regulations, laws, restrictions. I always find restrictions up there at the top because one of the most hypocritical points I find about boundaries is that we are told in order to achieve greatness, we have to push the boundaries. Well, in active addiction, we push all the boundaries, all of them, good and bad. And so in recovery, to be pushing all of these boundaries puts us at risk. And we have to address that. We have to address that head on, I think, especially in early recovery, because if you go out there pushing boundaries in the bar, in a trap house, in all of your old playgrounds, you are setting yourself up for failure. And failure is not an option in this room. Like, we cannot fail because sometimes it is the last fail we ever do. So, pushing boundaries is a good thing when your purpose is for the greater good, either of yourself or the group or God. I mean, that's what we're all here for. And I think that setting boundaries, if you're finding trouble setting boundaries for yourself or even adhering to someone's boundaries that they have set for you, I think a good place to find, I guess, understanding would be the boundaries that God set for us in the Ten Commandments. Those are the boundaries that God put down for us. This is what the boundaries are to live life according to God's word. So if you're trying to figure out a boundary, to set one, set it in love, set it with grace, set it with purpose, and then stand behind that boundary with love and grace and purpose. Because the people who come to that boundary with you, they're either going to meet that boundary with love and grace and purpose, and you're going to see peace on that line, or those people are going to come in with the devil and try to break down that wall and try to cross that boundary and try to get you. And I feel like that's a good understanding of where people are. Like Benji said, he had to set a boundary for me, get sober, or we're not going to be together. Because I kept bringing the devil to the doorstep. I was not getting sober when he was in treatment. And so if I wanted to have what we have today, I had to come to that boundary with peace and love and understanding that it was for the greater good of what we were trying to do. So, I guess boundaries today, just, if you have any question, just check it against the Bible, check it against God's word, because if it's a healthy boundary and it's met with love and grace and understanding, it's going to be in there. You're going to find it. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Timothy, Corinthians, I mean, you name it. It's going to be in there somewhere because it's God's will, and that's what we're here to do. With that, I pass.
My name is Jenny Frable, and I have 14 months in recovery. There has been a humongous, out loud movement sweeping across our country in the last week. And people are making the ultimate proclamations, they're setting the ultimate boundary. A lot of people have gone on their own social media platforms in front of their friends and followers and said, I stand with Jesus Christ, and watch their friend count and their followers count decrease. That is how that boundary, sharing publicly that you stand with Jesus Christ, will dwindle and weed out the people that you don't want in your life. If you were someone who made that proclamation this last week, how good did it feel? I watched my friend count decrease, and you know, it's sad. It's sad that people can't see God for who He is and what He does and how He loves. But those are people I don't want in my life, and I pray for them that Jesus saves them from the one who deceived them. That is the biggest boundary that I've ever set publicly, and I'm going to continue to do it over and over again. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Hillary, I have 61 days. Boundaries has been an ongoing topic for a while for me. Before I started drinking, I was really good at following other people's boundaries, but I didn't necessarily ever set any for myself. But in recovery, I'm really trying to focus on that and know what kind of boundaries I need to set for myself and for others in order to allow them to still be in my life.
Kevin, 102 days. Definitely boundaries. This is funny because we had this conversation. This is getting later. Boundaries to me is definitely something I never had. Never didn't care if I had. Didn't care if the person I was hanging out with had. All I cared about was what they had in their pocket or what bar we could hang out. That was very unhealthy. There was no love. There wasn't friendship. I learned when I was in treatment, I need to learn to set boundaries, and they need to be healthy, and they need to be respectful to others and to myself as well. My ego is not my friend. I learned I had to set boundaries with my anger. I had to set boundaries with my kids. I had to set boundaries with my family. I had to set boundaries with myself completely. My ego is my own worst enemy. He was driving the bus, and I was just wrecking my world. I learned though with boundaries, instead of using emotion to set the boundaries, you have to use intelligence. So always have the I over the E, not the E over the I. It'll help you because I'm a lot better person with boundaries. And this young lady's got some boundaries, and at first I'm like, oh man, I got a boundary here, boundary there, boundary everywhere. I'm out of bounds. What am I gonna do? I was lost. I was like, I didn't know how to take it. I'm like, holy crap, man. I felt like I was being like, disrespectful. Like, what, am I doing anything right at all? But after a while, once I calmed down, I realized she's right. There need to be boundaries, because without boundaries, it's a free-for-all, then it's a shit show, and it's just like any other relationship I ever had. I don't want that. I don't want to repeat that behavior. Who does? I want somebody I can look at and it's like, God, I can't wait until I see you when you get off work. I want to hear about your day. I want to hear about your dreams, your hopes. That's what I want. I don't want to sit there and dwell on the past and be mad and piss off about what happened 2 years ago. And it's like we gotta hash this out. Let's move forward because we're looking back. We're never going to see forward because God's got something great for us. I know He does for me, and if He don't, I'm going to create it. But I'm sure He does. I'm going to figure it out. I'm in the creating business, and I love it, man. I'm happier than I've ever been in my life, guys. Because the day my daughter was born, I was over the moon. The day I adopted my son, he was 2 years old, and the judge says, Kevin, would you like to say your son's name? I said, Kevin, or Dalton Michael Shannon, which my last name is Fenton. He goes, no, sir. And when she said that again, I said, Dalton Mike Fenton, and I realized, that's mine. I can't take it back to Walmart. I can't get it. That kid's mine, man. So I had 22 years clean, and I know I'm telling you one time, so. But I'll tell you what was the best thing I ever invested in my life. Did I know my Lord that well? No. I was so distant from Him. But I know He was there. I even got the Lord's Last Supper tattoo across my back. I thought it meant I'll never go hungry and I'll always share my food with other people, but no. There were some boundaries that were crossed, and evidently somebody wasn't being nice and turned his back. Well, Lord, I'm sorry for turning my back on Him. I'll never do it again. I'm going to look you straight in the eyes. I'm going to take my problems and go head on. I'm going to take this relationship. I'm going to go head on and give them my all, because if I don't give them all, I might as well just give up. I'm tired of being on the outbound. I want to be inbound. I want to play. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy this. I want to embrace it. I love where I'm at. And I love the people that surround by me every day. I love getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and doing what we do every morning. That's great. I look forward to it.
And then before I had a job, y'all take off and leave and go to work. I'm like, I ain't doing this. I'm getting out of this house right now before the boundary set on me for sitting here too long. I'm out of here. So I'm a go-getter, man. With that, I'll pass, guys.
My name's Preston. I have 594 days in recovery. Boundaries. When I was in my addiction, if somebody had a boundary, I would use the bag in my pocket to cross that boundary. I would manipulate my way into crossing that boundary that they set. And the boundaries that I had set for myself were silent. Nobody knew the boundaries I had because I didn't express those. I didn't communicate them. In my head, I knew those boundaries, but I didn't have enough respect for myself to elaborate on those boundaries, so people would just cross them, and then I'd get mad, and it's just disgusting. It's so sickening when you're thinking about it now. And today, the boundaries that I have set, I'm able to communicate those, and if people aren't going to respect those, then I don't have anything to do with those people. And that's just, it's plain and simple. Like, if you're not going to respect me and the boundaries I've set or what I'm doing in my life, chasing after God and continuing down this path of recovery, if you're not with that or on board with it, then bye. And the biggest thing for me is in a relationship, being able to communicate those boundaries and being respected on those boundaries. It feels great, but I would not be able to do that if I didn't have God guiding me and if I wasn't in recovery. So, boundaries are super, super great. I love them. I love being able to express those boundaries. I love being able to be respected with those boundaries. I love being able to communicate the boundaries that I have set and people respecting them. And I also respect other people's boundaries as well. And I don't have to lie, manipulate, use what I have to cross those boundaries. If they have boundaries, I need to respect it. That'll pass. Thank you.
I'm married for 9 months and 19 days. Boundaries. I didn't really have any boundaries in the past. I would use women to my advantage and take whatever I feel is necessary that they give me. Or I give them on those boundaries. Now, I have set boundaries and my relationship, it is awesome. There's communication is key to a relationship. If you don't have communication or respect or self-respect of one another, then there would be no relationship or good relationship. A good relationship is very healthy, and we see eye to eye with things. You talk about with your other person anything in the whole world, about anything, and they still love you for who you are now, and don't talk about the past. We talk about the present, the future, and my mental health and physical emotions are one of the things that are in boundaries, and both of them are excellent. I talk to her about everything, and she's still there. There's times where I can talk to anybody about anything, and just feel this right way, and so that's big stuff. Everything's good. Keep on the path of Jesus. There's nothing.
I'm Isaac, and I got 166 days today. I used to be so rebellious to boundaries. Like, I thought that was something that, like, I'm supposed to cross, and something that I'm supposed to, like, push the bounds of, like, where I get in trouble. Okay, because I would try to keep going and going and see how much I would get in trouble, right? I even did that with the law, right? And so, like, That ended up getting me like probably at one point in time like 12 years over my head, and then then I started to listen, and I started to change, and I started to like obey the boundaries that are forced on me. So like thanks to Zion, like they helped me realize that early on in whatever relationship, whether it's platonic, romantic, or whatever, but stating your boundaries is almost a necessity, because it lets the other person and yourselves know where you stand. Okay, and it's like, okay, so like if this is a boundary that's set, you got to stand on it. Like one thing to set would be for me in my recovery is like, so no drugs, no alcohol in the house. And that's something you got to stand on. And if that's something that the other person that you're talking to or whatever isn't going to follow, then that's something that you just can't have. Because it's going to tear my life apart. It's going to tear your life apart. It's going to hurt both of us in the end. So like I guess like where I'm at now with things is learning how to voice that early on. And I used to be like the type that wouldn't voice my own boundaries. And then when somebody would cross them, I would just cut them off and not tell them, not give them explanations, none of it. And just like, I guess like I was super passive aggressive about when somebody would like cross my boundaries, but it's also my fault. I didn't voice it to you, So like, how'd you know? But like, I guess I never set boundaries with my kid's mom, and it just like ruined that relationship. Like we didn't have proper boundaries. We didn't talk about it properly ahead of time, and it was just, I guess for me, self-will run riot, and a whole bunch of like, I want to do this and I want to do it my way, and like I had no real respect for everybody. And I guess that's where like I failed to follow those boundaries. And with that, I'll
I'm Tyler. I got 624 days a day. Boundaries is a good hot topic. I got real bad ADHD, so I have a hard time slowing down and realizing sometimes it's easy to cross boundaries. But I think boundaries can be a positive and a negative thing. I think boundaries can help you excel. It can allow you to, as long as they're set positively, I also think if you set them negatively, it can limit you. I had boundaries. I told myself that, they were false boundaries. I told myself that, oh, it's all right, I'm just supposed to leave. I'm not going to do anything like this. And pretty soon, like, I crossed that boundary. I've crossed many boundaries. I think boundaries are good to have as long as, like Jess said, instead of grace and love, and you can respect that. And I think boundaries go two ways. When you set a boundary, one, you do for yourself, but also do for others. It's for the other people have boundaries. You have to respect those too. But I also want to touch on the subject of pushing boundaries. I think that can be a positive thing. I think when I say that boundaries can limit you. It makes me think of this prayer. It's in the Bible. I read a book on it when I was in Oakdale. I was on lockdown, and it's called the Jabez prayer. It's a really short prayer, and it's like as long as you allow God to guide you, you have like you follow Christ. You set your boundaries. You keep in mind, is this going to keep me closer to God, or is this going to take me farther away from God? So as long as you include God in that, you shouldn't have any trouble setting positive and healthy boundaries with yourself. Because God's love and grace has no boundaries. But it says in I think it's 1 Chronicles chapter 4 verse 10. It's a really good prayer. It's something that it was in the book. It told me like it'd change your life if you prayed it. It's a simple small prayer. It's Jabez cried out to the God of Israel, "Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm, so I will be set free from pain." And God granted this is his request. And I think boundaries should be something that you update like a budget. So like things could change with somebody. Someone might not be healthy for you no more. They could be slipping, or you could be slipping. And you just got to reevaluate. Again, is this going to bring me closer to God or to draw me away from God? So as long as you set healthy boundaries and you keep in mind that sometimes it's okay to push boundaries as long as it's good for you. Like with Soldierz, as it grows, you're gonna have to reevaluate where this is going and what's the line. But yeah, so it's all right to do that. God, you can make miracles work and you can do some big things. It's just as long as you all right, that don't pass.
Tyler, I got 157 days. The only reason I'm here is by the grace of God. I had myself look all right for people and still be doing the same things that I've been doing all along. But when I surrendered to God, I started reading the scriptures. And when you read the scriptures, there's no way to manipulate it. Because it says right in the Bible, it'll set boundaries for you. Because you know the people by your fruit. You'll know the people that you're around by the actions that they do, the things that they're saying, the things that are coming out of their mouth. And if the things that are not coming out of their mouth don't match up with their actions, then you can't be around them. And it was hard for me to learn that. I took most of my life to learn that. And I like what she said about Facebook. Like, I accept people on Facebook, and if they say negative things on Facebook, I immediately unfriend them. And that's just not the person I'm looking for. My relationships today are great. I get to have relationships with people that I never would have dreamed of. I get to see my grandkids more than I would like, probably. And my daughter's awesome, and it's just something new to me. And the only reason it's possible is because of God.
My name is Alex, and I'm just a supporter.
I'm Sydney, and I'm also a supporter.
My name's Adam Wilkinson. I got 659 days Boundaries for me is learning to put God in recovery first and my family second. I guess I never really knew what a healthy boundary was until I got sober. I was too busy getting high and screwing off my life that I didn't take the initiative to really sit back and think, how much my actions were really affecting my family. So I set an unhealthy boundary by keeping them at a far distance, so that way in my mind I thought that I wasn't really affecting them, not realizing it was affecting them the whole time. So today I brought my nephew and his girlfriend with me today. And I'm learning how to recover out loud. But my biggest boundary is taking my sobriety like aggressively serious. I used to have what I thought were a lot of friends in the drug world, and then when I got clean, I had to weed them all out, and you know how that goes. But drugs run in my family though, and I got siblings that still continue to use that I really so badly want to build these relationships with, and it's hard to tell them no. It's hard to not want to give them my time, and it breaks my heart. I cry about it sometimes at night because I just wish I could have these strong relationships because I'm trying to make amends with all my wrongs. And with that, I'll pass.
My name is Dawn, and I'm a supporter.
My name is TJ Vasquez, and I have 5 years and 9 months in recovery. Boundaries. I don't know why I chose the topic, it just came to my head. Like Preston said, I can relate to having no boundaries when I was lost in my addiction. And again, I live in a recovery home with 12 guys. There's no boundaries there. Well, one of my biggest boundary breakers has moved out last month. So there's nobody coming. I do have a little boundary in my bedroom area now. And I have established some boundaries in the man cave as of recently. But there is one healthy boundary that I've established all through my recovery, and that is God first. And that began this. There was a decision I had to make early in my recovery to go back to a relationship, to go back to the birth of my daughter. And that's where God and recovery must come first came from. I had to choose to go back to what I knew best, to go back to a relationship, a toxic relationship where I knew it'd only be a matter of time before I'd be in the garage, smoking weed, drinking, and back to doing what I usually do, or put God first. And this was a healthy boundary that I still do to this day. Wake up at 4 a.m., get into the Word of God, have my guys, they get up a little later than me, but we get up every morning at 4:40 and we put God first. Monday through Friday. Of course, I still get up on the weekend and put God first, and some of them get up with me. But that is a boundary that carries on through a couple more. A boundary that was established by one of these guys right here that established that me when I was in, 31 days into my recovery in the home that he brought me into. When he came in 14 days into my recovery and asked me if I was ready to do something different, and that something different was chase God. So those were the boundaries that were set upon me, the healthy boundaries, that I still carry those healthy boundaries today that I try to set with my guys and hope for my guys to carry on. This is the time of the meeting, though. I like to go around and introduce and pick on the new people. But I do have two OGs in here that I'm going to give 1 minute on the mic to, whether they like it or not. So I'll get back around to you for your 3 words you said you had. But there are some people that are going to get picked on. At least introduce yourselves on the mic that you didn't think would come around, but I like to pick on people. So here you go.
Hi, my name's Kyla. I'm just a supporter of my mom, Michelle.
All right. Come on, you can do it. I'll hold the mic for you.
This is Skylar.
Welcome, Skylar.
I'm Brian. I got let's see here, a few weeks. I'm just happy I got God back in my life, man. I mean that we're not in a good place before, and I'm happy that I actually went to jail, got sober, because that's where I got to go to get sober at the time, and I decided that, I wasn't doing it right, you know what I mean, and I was just mad at God, and I just had to hash it out with him, and that was a good place to do it, and now I'm waking up every morning, 5 a.m., I'm going out, reading my Bible, doing a workout, and getting a place and talking with God, and I'm in a good spot down my path.
I'm AJ, and I have, I think, 30 days sober. The Thrive Now community, and I'm glad where I'm at.
I have 18 days clean today, and
I'm Troy. I've got 2 weeks also, and I have passed my will over to the power of God.
I'm Jeff, and I got 16 days sober.
My name's Roberta, and I'm a supporter.
I'm Jill. I have 85 days today.
We need 3 words, Ryan.
Let me give you 3 truths to set you up for successful boundaries that will produce fruit and progress in your life. Discipline, obedience, and accountability.
Damn.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hi, I'm Carissa. I'm 34 days sober today. And I'm excited to be here, and that's all I'm going to say.
My name's Eden. I'm 11 days sober. Hi, I'm Leah. I'm a support person. I love AA.
You got 1 minute, OG.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Dustin. I'm in recovery. I
I got 1 year, 9 months, and 15 days. All I can say is trust the process. That's it. It's like for you to grind, as you did in addiction, you can grind outside. That's with the Lord. But I'm struggling for real. I got a lot on my plate, but I do get custody of my son, so that's good. All I can say is you got to take it one day at a time. I've been getting overwhelmed a lot lately, but just trust the Lord.
Now I saved the last 2 minutes. This gentleman's told me a story out here, and I'd like him to tell you his story. So if you just tell him your name, your recovery time, and what you told me outside, sir.
I'm Todd. I'm visiting from Dallas. I sobered up May 21st of 1994. I don't know how many days that is. But I used to live here, and my parents still do. They live about a block from here. And last couple of years I've been up here. I've always seen the sign Soldierz out in front of the church, and I'm like, what is that place? You know, I don't see it in the AA meeting guide. And but my dad kept saying, son, you need to go try that out. Well, anyway, I was up here. I got up here last week, and I was going to leave Sunday morning, and I thought, you know, I should stay around and go to church with Mom and Dad today and spend the day with them. Later that night, my dad slumped over, had a heart attack, and passed away. So there's been lots of people coming in this week, and you know, in honor of my father tonight, I thought I would come check out this meeting. I know he's in heaven, and he lived a good long life, 90 years old. My mom is grieving horribly. They had a wonderful marriage in 68 years, but I was brought up in a Christian home, and you know, at 18 I let Satan in my life, and Satan's already got the bad people. He's going after the believer, and once you give Satan an inch and you're a believer, he's gonna take you. And he took me for 19 years, and I'm a miracle to be here, and I'm glad. I've never been in a room with so many people with such little recovery, and you gotta set boundaries. That one boundary is you gotta change people, places, and things. You know, make sure your meetings are right at the top of the list to go to. Keep a piece of paper in your billfold, you know, that you can call when you get that craving to use, because you're going to get it. And, you know, it's nice to believe in God, but we have to have people with God in the skin. And that's, you know, guys that have walked this path before. And you got to reach out to people. Anyway, I'm glad to be here.
Let's circle and close this meeting.
I got a free hand aid for it. Oh, not anymore, never mind. Don't show your hand. I want to hold your hand.
Who's Father?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Usually outside. Maybe out back. Can't get somebody.
You know what else has boundaries? Dishwashers.
Well, you can drink it on your way. I mean, I'll leave it in your car. It's gonna be really warm next time you get it.
I didn't get back to the hospital. Oh my god. Yeah. It was like 3 years ago. Yeah, that's what you told me. That's good. You know how to get your back.
Hey, Crystal. What's up? I just went to Strawberry Recovery. You did?
Hi, Crystal.
I just went to Strawberry Recovery.
Did you? How'd it go?
Yeah, great.
Hi.
I don't get any of them.
How you doing, honey?
Okay. Fell last night in the hotel room.
Yeah.
What's your name on Facebook?
Yeah, that's my Haley got me on because I wanted to stop in and say hello and see if the meeting was still going on.
It just got over, babe. You want to go out and have a cigarette with me?
Well, not have a cigarette, but
you want to go outside with me?
yeah, I want to
talk to TJ.
Say hi to TJ.
Say hi to TJ. I'll be outside, honey. Okay?
All right. Okay.
Well, my schedule's there. I'm gonna add you.
Yeah, I bet.
It's all good. Oh, good deal.
That was my dad. That was me back when I was a senior.
That was good.
Yeah, I have following all across the world.
It's been what? Wow. That's awesome.
And 8 years ago when I got in it,
Yeah.
you know, I wanted,
No, I've been, Rich, sorry, Reach. Yeah, Reach. Yeah, I'm thinking about coming back, but we just want to. Everyone's welcome. Reach, church.
Love you, Justin.
Justin, did you say hello to me?
Oh, hey, what's up? How are you? Oh, I like Reach. How's it going?
Good.
Glad you made it.
I just went to Soldierz recovery.
There, I'm glad you made it, though. What happened?
I got hit in the head with a baseball bat from behind and almost died. I got in jail for 2 years. Thank you.
Yeah, it was good seeing you.
Are they going out to eat afterwards or they don't do that anymore?
I don't know if they do that. I gotta get home with the family.
Oh, okay.
and Sunday morning I woke up and I thought I was going to leave. And I thought, I'm going to stay. And that night he had the heart attack. So I've been here all week. I've been sleeping in bed with my 90-year-old mother. She's taking it horribly. And, my dad,
Let me shut the camera off.
yeah.
How are you, Crystal?
Right.